What's up, guys? So I know it's been a long time since I made a video. I actually ended up selling the Audi, broke my foot. Lots of bad stuff happened all at once, so I wasn't able to make videos. But in the time being down, I was still answering a lot of questions, taking a lot of DMs from people. And it seemed to be that a lot of people were wondering like how I was able to get so many dirt bikes like whenever I was younger, how I got to the point where I'm like flipping cars and stuff. So I'm going to use today's video to go over the process of what I used to do whenever I would flip dirt bikes. I don't do it anymore. Now I'm on to cars, and this is my current project right now. This is replacement for the Audi. It's a 2008 Escalade EXT. So you can see I've got all kinds of stuff, ripping chrome off and putting new stuff. But that'll be for the next video. Today I'm just going to go over the whole dirt bike process, explain that to people, and hopefully you enjoy it. So as far as flipping dirt bikes go, I no longer do it. I used to do it whenever I was in high school in my first year of college. I don't do it anymore simply because I don't have the time and I don't have a place to ride bikes anymore. The thing is, it can be super profitable and give you a chance to use all types of different bikes and to learn how to do business deals, really. So to get the basics out of the way, you need to choose a platform to sell on. I know there's eBay and Craigslist and all these other different things, and I always just did Craigslist. It was simple. I always search the newest bike, so I see what was just posted, because that's the way you're gonna find your best deals. If something has been on there for maybe a week or so and it looks like a good deal, it probably isn't, just because the fact that it's been on there that long. It's probably not as good as you would think. I never put a lot into performance because for whatever reason, most people don't buy these things and go race them. Lots of the people that I would sell to were just people that were weekend warrior people, kind of like me. And they don't care so much about having high compression pistons and with 4 strokes being valves and stuff like that. They don't care. They just want something that looks the part, that looks like it's ready to go race. I never wasted time on money on performance. One, because it's really expensive to buy performance parts. You just never get the payoff with those. They just cost too much versus how much people are willing to pay to have them on a bike. You have to plan things out. You have to know what you're gonna buy something for, how much you have to put in it. Give yourself a little bit of cushion on both the buying and the putting things in it. You have to know all this before you even consider buying it and consider putting in an offer. Once you decide an offer price, don't move from it. I don't even want to say an unless you're willing to take a little less profit. But even then, I wouldn't move from it, because you kill all your profit and then you're just basically working for nothing, and we don't want that. When it comes to making the actual offer, don't be afraid to cut people down a little bit. I mean, chances are they're putting a price up there that is way higher than what they really will take. Like, I do that whenever I'm selling them even. Like, I've listed bikes for $4,300, $4,400, but in my mind, I'm willing to take like $3,800. So there are people like that out there. I'm not saying start lowballing everybody really bad, because if they say it in their ad, probably best not to, because you can end up killing a deal if they say no lowballs or whatever. But I still like to deal with people. I mean, because like I said, you're making your money whenever you buy it, so you need to try and get it as cheap as you possibly can. Don't be afraid to hurt somebody's feelings. Sometimes that happens. Now, I know in the beginning it's harder to make as big a margins for lots of people, and it was for me, because you don't have as much money to put into a bike. I could make the most money on bikes that I was spending anywhere from $1,800 to $2,400 on. Bikes that I was spending that much, I was making the most. I was making probably average $1,000 profits or more on those type of bikes. They're nice enough to where they can be made super nice and charge and bring a big premium, versus bikes that are a lot cheaper. You can't really make them as nice. They're older, so you can't charge as much. When I flip dirt bikes, I always like to stick to one brand, and my brand that I chose was Yamaha. And the reason for this is their YZ250s were the same exact thing from 2005 all the way up to whenever I quit buying and selling them. I don't know what they're at now. But the thing was, I could make a 2006 look just as nice as a brand new one, because all I had to do was change the plastics. And lots of people buy things based off of looks. So if you have your dirt bike looking like a 2014 or whatever, but it's actually a 2006, people will pay a lot closer to the 2006 price, or the 2014 price. That's one of the big reasons I chose Yamaha, because a lot of these brands, you can't really do that. You can't update the style they are just by changing the plastics. And that's what I would do. Like, I would find the best running bikes possible that were dirty, good deals. I'd buy them, strip every single plastic off of them, strip the grips off of them. I would put spoke wraps on the wheels. Basically everything that you could see would look fresh. I would paint clutch covers and case covers. I would make it look completely brand new. And typically I never went over like $300-400. I think my highest was like 400 something, and that's because I had to buy a new pipe because it was pretty dented up. And that's another thing. If they have aftermarket pipes, it's huge. Just take a little bit of Mother's aluminum and mag polish, and you can make those chrome FMF pipes and Pro Circuit pipes look absolutely brand new. Even better than brand new, with a little $3 bottle of mag and aluminum polish. But my best bike was a 2009 YZ250. It ran crazy. It looked terrible. It had mismatched plastics. It had seen better days. It was a 2009, bought it for $1,900. I put $300 into it, or this might be in the 400 one. I'll have to see if I put the pipe on it or not. But all new plastics, graphics, grips, everything. That bike went for $4,200. $4,200 from what, $2,100 to $2,200. That was probably the best bike. I know that was the best bike I ever sold. So there's a lot of profit to be made. And the thing is, when you get really good at flipping and you're flipping all the time, I got to the point where I was having 3 or 4 dirt bikes at home. And it was awesome because I was building them, and yet I always had one to ride. And even if it just gets to 2, like when you start getting better and you have 2, then you constantly are running one, and you constantly have one that just sits there and chill and stays for sale. And then whenever that one sells, you move your running one to the sitting one and repeat the process. Just keep going and going and going. And I would have summers where I was making thousands, and it was great because then it gave me a way to buy cars, and now I do it with cars. You want to do these things as soon as you can because, like I said, the older you get, you have so much less time to do things and less time to experiment with that kind of stuff. One thing I want to mention too is with finding the value, you have to find the value of the bike based on what you can research, based on what's happening on Craigslist. To me, Kelley Blue Book is not worth it. It's not even worth looking at to me with dirt bikes. I found that it's pretty much worthless, to be honest, because it's great for cars, but for dirt bikes, lots of older bikes don't even have titles, so you get a lot of things selling without them being like registered on Kelley Blue Book, because that's where they get their numbers from, is from whenever the title changes. So a lot of them don't even have title changes, and then people mark down the price that they actually sold for whenever it comes to write off for taxes and stuff. So the number is just, they're totally worthless, I think. So don't go off of that. Go off of your own research and know what the market is. Take some time to like look at things before you decide to make your first buy. I know the first buy is scary. For me it was. My first buy was a 2005 YZ250. I think I paid $2,300 for it. It was spending almost all of my money, so it's really scary. I understand, but it pays off big in the end. Sometimes you have to take risks. See, the thing is, when we're young, you can take some risks, and I mean, you run out of money, it's not the end of the world. I mean, most of you are still probably living with your parents if you're still doing this. You're younger. There's no mortgage to pay. There's still, I mean, you have a roof over your head. Things won't be as great. You might not go to the movies as much, stuff like that, but now's the time to try that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm sure you'll wonder why I got in the car anyways, and I'm here to grab some parts for my Escalade, that flip and build that I'm doing right now. Subscribe if you want to see more of that, but I'll be back in a second. I got my AutoZone haul. Let's see, you just got some electrical tape, some wire strippers in here, some wire connectors. At least I used gold plated. I'm lazy, but yeah, that's that. When it comes to selling the bike, always give yourself a good cushion on the asking price. Like if you want $4,000, I'd probably put it up for $4,500. And the thing is, if somebody comes to you right off the bat and offers $4,000 when you're asking is $4,500, yeah, that's $500 down. If you can't get them up any bit, don't worry about it. Take what you calculated as what you need for a profit and run. Take the quickest sale you can get. Don't waste your time, because the longer you sit there, I've done this before. I've told myself that I want, we'll stick with the same numbers, that I've wanted $4,000 for a bike, and I listed it for $4,500, and a person goes, I'll give you $4,000, and I go, hey, could you do $4,300? And then I figure, well, if somebody would give me $4,000, why wouldn't they give me like $4,200? And then I would hold out selling because I thought I could get a little bit more, and that's a big mistake, because usually I'd end up holding onto the bike way longer than I needed to, and I'd end up selling it usually for less than what I was asking for it needed in the first place. So don't get greedy and try to keep holding on to a bike for a couple $100s. You know what you need, get that and get out. Take your profit and move on to the next one and make money on the next one, because you have to factor in how much money you could be making the more you do versus sitting there and trying to get that couple extra $100. It's just not worth it. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that. I know sometimes I don't speak well chronologically and I might miss some things. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. You can also message me on Instagram. I'll leave the link for that below, or you can just go to AustinC105. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. Ask me any question it is about the dirt bikes or flipping cars or anything you see in any of the videos. I'll answer it as soon as possible and to the best of my ability. Stay tuned for the Escalade build. I'll see you on the next one, guys.